miss Matilda and Vincent so much. Vincent is a man who yearns. Hi guys, it's Sam and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a reading update because we're over halfway in September and I've also acquired a lot of books, so this will be a bit of a reading update and a book haul as well. Getting straight into it, last Sunday I finished Wild Reverence at midnight. It was so freaking good. If you've seen my TikTok, you will see that I have been uploading videos of me crying everywhere because it was such an emotional read and I didn't expect it to hit me the way it did, but I think this might be one of my favorite books of this year, maybe even my top #1. It's definitely up there with The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. If you've read that one, you'll know what I mean. It was just so good and so atmospheric. This one was also very atmospheric but had very much more of a focus on the love story and I would recommend it so much. I miss Matilda and Vincent so much. Like, Vincent is a man who yearns. The romantic things that he says to her in this, I am still not over. So if you're wondering whether you can read this without reading Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, you absolutely can. In fact, I asked Rebecca Ross this myself and I was like, Rebecca, like, where do you think readers should start? And she was like, if they start with Wild Reverence, it's absolutely fine because you'll see the links to Divine Rivals when you read it and vice versa, so you don't really ruin anything for yourself. But in my personal opinion, I do think you should read Divine Rivals first. It is worth it, so it's not like you're wasting time. It's almost like Divine Rivals, you get an introduction into the world, and then in Wild Reverence you go back a few hundred years and you really see how the gods made their mark on the world and small tiny Easter eggs that you'll know from Divine Rivals as well. Let me read you this. My home is your home, my arms are a haven for you to rest. My last name is yours if you desire it. I will love you to my grave and even beyond it when the mists welcome me, when I am hopefully very old and grey and grouchy and have spent the seasons beside you when you are here and dreaming of you when you are gone. I love you dearly, Red. Come home to me, return to me when you can. I will be watching the skies and the river until then. Yours, Vincent. Please, if anyone's read this book, please talk to me because I think this book will be marked on my soul forever. Since reading that last week, I have hardly read within this week. My work's been so busy. I have got addicted to this game called Discounty. My friend Jess recommended it to me. The premise is, it's very similar to like Fae Farm, Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, if you like those kinds of games. But in this one, you get called back to your village where your auntie's like, hey, run my supermarket. And you're like, oh, okay, sure. So then you have to run the whole supermarket. You have to make sure there's stock, you have to put it out on the shop floor, you have to keep the store clean, you have to work at the checkout, like being like, oh, that's 9, that's plus 18, plus 20. I'm addicted. I literally work a 9 to 5 and after 5 I'm clocking on for my shift at the supermarket. Someone take this away from me. I have been reading these two books, so I am about 100 pages into Bitten by Jordan Stephanie Gray. This one is a werewolf paranormal romance and I kind of love the way this is just so 2012 coded, so 2015 coded. In the first bit, like, our main character loses her best friend at a party. Her friend gets bitten by a wolf and dies, and she gets bitten but like is going through the process of turning into a werewolf, and then she discovers there's these like werewolf courts. She basically has to like now start living her life as a werewolf and like kind of manage the hierarchy of like alphas and betas and the queen and that kind of stuff. The writing is very fun. It's like very reminiscent of like Twilight, Paranormalcy by Kirsten White, like anything back in the day that was like paranormal romance. I don't hate it. In fact, I find this quite comforting. You can already see where there's going to be a love triangle and the two love interests are really funny and I'm like, yeah, I can get behind this. At first I thought this might be a 5-star read, but now I'm reading it, I'm like, this is a fun time. I think 4 stars at the moment, but I'll get back to you when I'm finished. I am also about 100 pages into All This Twisted Glory by Tahira Murphy. I started this this morning and I'm already over 100 pages in. There's something about the series that is very comforting and very addictive. I missed Cyrus, I missed Eliza, I missed Cameron. I feel like in book 1 it was like a good setup, book 2 was her being apart from Cameron and getting to know Cyrus, and in this book it's Cyrus yearning for her so bad, like saying the most like soppy things in his head, just like wanting to lay down his life for her, and she's kind of caught between like the guy that she used to know in book 1, Cameron, and now she's caught between Cyrus as well, while there's all this kind of like drama going on in the kingdom. And I'm just having so much fun. I think I'll probably finish this one before I finish Bitten, but both are pretty fun reads. Oh my god, wait, I forgot, I'm also over halfway through Silvercloak by L.K. Stephen, and this one I'm kind of making my way slowly through. It's set in a fantasy world where the magic in it is fueled by pain or pleasure, so like when you're in pain that will fill your magical well, or you know, when you experience pleasure you also like feel that magical well. Our main character has basically got herself involved with a magical detective agency, and she's gone undercover to try and find out who killed her parents when she was younger. I love an animal companion, and this is the fallow wolf, and she's got a great vibe going on with the son of the kingpin of the rival gang. I'm glad that I have mainly stuck to my TBR that I set myself in the last video. I put all the books here so we can go through them together for the book haul. I'm really excited because some of these are still wrapped up, so we can see what they are together. First one, I believe, is from HarperCollins. I can't open it. I believe this one is part of the like collector's editions of the Shatter Me series by Tahira Murphy, and they're really pretty. I don't think I own any of the other ones, but they sent me Defy Me. What book is this in the series? Like number 4, number 5? I read Shatter Me a few years ago, and I would love to reread it one day to see if I still feel the same about them, but I am keeping up to date with her new spin-off series, which is like Watch Me, and I really like those. They're told from like the younger brother's point of view. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Book 5. Thank you so much, Harper, for sending me this. It has this cute little like bookmark ribbon, which I always like, and it has cranes on the side. It's so pretty. The next one is also from Harper, like Electric Monkey, and it is Holly Jackson's book 5 Survive. I love Holly Jackson. She got me into thriller. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is one of like my all-time favorites. I think I'll always be excited to revisit that series, and I love the TV show. She was saying that season 2 is going to be so much better than season 1, so let's hold tight for that. This is the collector's edition of 5 Survive. Oh, it's so good. This one, if you haven't read it, is told over the period of 24 hours, so it's told in real time, and Holly said that you can read it and basically almost experience everything going on at the same time as well. Like, she's very strategically timed it, so how long it takes you to read it is like how long is going by in the book. Do you know what I mean? Oh no, it's over 8 hours. 8 hours, 6 friends, 1 sniper who will survive. I love all the details. This book stressed me the hell out because it's like these group of friends who get stuck in an RV, but they can't leave the RV on an abandoned like road, and someone's outside the RV trying to like kill them basically. Thank you so much, Harper, for sending me this. I recently read Holly Jackson's adult debut, which was Not Quite Dead Yet. That's set over the period of a week, and basically our main character gets into the situation where someone tries to kill her, and then she wakes up from a coma and she's got like 5 days left to live or something, and then she's like, I'm gonna solve my own murder. But over that week she's slowly deteriorating because of her medical condition, and it's just so intense. Like, I loved it so much. That was a random tangent, but I definitely recommend that book. God, it feels like Christmas. This is Overdue by Stephanie Perkins, and I actually requested this one because Stephanie Perkins wrote Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door. Do you guys remember those books from back in the day? They were like my romance bibles when I was younger. I loved it so much. So when I heard she had a new book, I think this is an adult romance, I'm really intrigued to see like if I still resonate with her writing the way I did when I was 15. No, I was probably like 12 actually. Is it time to renew love or start a new chapter? Oh, we follow a 29-year-old librarian living in the cozy mountain town of Ridgetop. She and her boyfriend since college, Corey, have never discussed marriage. They're perfectly happy the way things are. But when Ingrid's sister announces her engagement to a woman she's only been dating for 2 years, Ingrid and Corey suddenly feel pressure to start thinking about the inevitable marriage and kids. You know what? I feel like this is so relatable for people in like their late 20s if you've been dating. I have been with my boyfriend for 10 years and I don't feel any pressure to get engaged or get married. I can definitely see the pressure if more of my friends started to get engaged and start having kids. I'd be like, oh my god, should I be doing that too? And then, okay, the characters make an unorthodox decision to separate for a month to date other people. Huh? Okay, I'm really intrigued. I feel like when you get into your late 20s, you just start getting this feeling like time's running out, and like, have I made the right decisions to be where I am right now? Is there anything I need to try? So I think this one is probably gonna hit me in the feels. Then we have Wild Card by Elsie Silver. I recently read all of the Chestnut Spring series. Well, I say recently, it was like the beginning of this year. I love them so much. Hopeless though, my least favorite. I haven't read this series. This is her what series? I haven't read the Rose Hill series, so I need to read Wild Love, Wild Eyes, Wild Side, Wild Card. I've been seeing lots of good things about this one. These two I got from Fairyloot. They are The Queen's Rising Duology by Rebecca Ross. I actually got these a while ago, but I haven't showed them off, so I really wanted to put them in a video. This is like her debut, I believe, and I haven't seen that many people talk about it. I think mainly, you know, people talk about Divine Rivals and they talk about A River Enchanted, but not so much this series. I love the sprayed edges. This one sounds like a very much like classic YA fantasy, with a nice dash of romance. I think I'm going to really like it based off the blurb. Honestly, I'm just kind of hungry for more Rebecca Ross after finishing Wild Reverence. And when I met Rebecca Ross the other day, she also signed my books for me. So they're now personalised. I'm really intrigued to see how much her writing has grown since the series, basically. Then I have Problematic Summer Romance. This is the Afterlight exclusive. I have been collecting the Ali Hazel books from them for a few years now, and basically like they come with a different colour cover, and then you can buy like this optional dust jacket, and I've been saying yes to the optional dust jacket because I really like the character art on it. So you get like a different picture on the front and the back, and it has sprayed edges. I haven't read this and I haven't read Not in Love, so I need to do them back to back at some point. I've heard mixed things about Problematic Summer Romance though. I know it's age gap. Other than that, I don't know anything. Then we have a hardback of Wild Reverence. This I picked up when I met Rebecca Ross. This is the standard edition and it has foiling on the hardback. It says, "We were doomed, she and I. One day I would perish and she would live on, endless as the stars." And it's got art on the inside. And I met Rebecca Ross and she signed my book and put a quote in it. It says, "I will love you to my grave and even beyond it." I was like, "Please can I have a quote?" And she was like, "Pick one." I'm like, "You pick one." And I was like, "Oh, you pick." And she was like, no, like you pick what you want. And I was just there like leafing through my proof, like all of my tabs, like, oh my god, which one do I make her pick? Why didn't I pre-pick one before I asked her? Then I have a proof. This one is for February 2026. It's called All We Have Is Time by Amy Tordoff. This one sounds really good because it definitely gives Addie LaRue vibe. Discover the breathtaking love story spanning centuries, woven between the biggest events in history and the quiet moments lost to it. In this one, I believe we have a character, it's very similar to Addie LaRue, where she just doesn't die and she just lives on forever. She's immortal. But one day she meets someone and they spend the most perfect day together. Fast forward like 100 years, she meets him again and she's like, huh? What's going on? And it says here, their bond will prove more magical than either thought possible. Whilst Beatrix may be over 2 centuries old, Oliver won't be born for another 400 years. I'm so intrigued. I'm hoping to read this one before the end of the year. I really liked Addie LaRue and I like this concept of like what happens to you when you can't die. When you live that long to love people but also repeatedly lose them over and over again, what that does to you. This one I think will just be a very beautiful story. I love that we're seeing more fantasy kind of set over hundreds and thousands of years. I read Our Infinite Fates as well by Laura Stephen, which had a similar concept of these two people who are fated to fall in love every lifetime but kill each other in every single one. If you have a chance to check that out, that was a really good YA fantasy. Then we have a few books that I bought from Waterstones. I got Eileen Chang's Jasmine Tea. This is part of the Penguin Archive collection of short stories. Just really like the sound of this one. It's a haunting collection of stories. A young man's obsession leads to a tragedy and a woman's bitterness poisons a family's legacy, set in pre-revolutionary China. I'm very interested in kind of like delving into some short stories and like, you know, just dipping in and out. I picked up Homesick. by Sylvia Saunders. So I've read most of this book and I love it so much, but I just need to finish it. So when I saw it in Waterstones and it was signed, I picked up a copy. It's a very funny take on being in your mid-20s, like living in London. Also, all of the chapters are super short but super punchy, so it's kind of like you can't stop reading because you're just wondering what she's going to do next. I need to finish this book, but it gives 5-star vibes. And then I saw in Waterstones they had Dreams Lie Beneath by Rebecca Ross. This is the US paperback, and I haven't seen a copy of this in the UK before, so I decided to pick it up. Just more Rebecca Ross backlist, I guess. On the acknowledgements, it says, "To my parents who first taught me how to dream." I think this is a standalone as well, which I always love. Then I met a spoken word poet called Georgie Jones at an event, and she sent me her collection of short kind of like stories and poems, and it's called "And the World Spins Anyway." It's super relatable. Things you think about as a woman, things you think about as you go into your like 20s and kind of finding your feet in the world, so very, very relatable. I mean, the first poem in there is, "Does anyone know what we're meant to be doing?" I got sent this proof. I'm so excited to read it. It is a book that I've already seen so many people talk about. It was indie published and now it's been picked up to be traditionally published, and the publisher has sent a proof, and that is for Air of Illusions by Madeline Taylor. She is not the pet they tamed, she is the beast they let inside, and she will show no mercy. This is an adult fantasy romance following our main character, who has like an enchanted collar at her throat that keeps her bound to the ruthless king, so she's forced to play the role of his obedient pet. She plots in secret to destroy him and claim the freedom she has always been denied. But when a mysterious reaper arrives in the city with his sights set on the same weapon that she's looking for, she must decide how far she's willing to go for her freedom. I honestly love it when there's a fantasy romance that already has so much hype around it, like Diabound by Sable Sorensen. Just makes me want to read it even more. This one comes out in November and I will try and read this one in October. Look at that artwork. I can't wait to meet her. And then the last three I got from the Harper Voyager event for their 30th anniversary. I went last weekend and it was a ticketed event, so you could buy a ticket for £22, and they had like a goodie bag and they had like a raffle, and you could meet loads of authors, get your book signed, and there was also a talk with Sarah Elarifi and Rebecca Ross. So in my goodie bag I actually got a copy of A Dark Forgetting by Kristen Sigarelli. This comes out in February 2026. This is actually just the UK edition of a book that she published in America a few years ago called Edgewood. So if you've already read Edgewood, this is the same book. I love Kristen Sigarelli's writing already. I love The Crimson Moth, so this one I was really, really glad to get in my goodie bag. Lauren, lovely Lauren, who is Fiction Tea, I believe, on Instagram. She didn't want this cozy fantasy, and while I was talking to her, I was like, oh, I really kind of wish that I could go and get a copy of the cozy fantasy. I didn't have it in my bag, and she was like, oh, well, I don't think I'm going to read it. I don't like cozy fantasy, so there you go. And it was so cute. It's called Stay for a Spell by Amy Coombe, and this one comes out in May 2026, so we're proper early for it. It says it's a charming cozy romantasy for everyone who's ever lost or found themselves in a bookshop. Also says that it's for fans of the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels, Legends and Lattes, and The Princess Bride, so it sounds perfect for me. I've recently been reading a lot of cozy fantasies, so I can't wait to add this one to my TBR. At the event they were also selling books, so hardbacks were like £12 and paperbacks were £6, so quite a good deal. I bought House of the Beast by Michelle Wong. I haven't seen too much about this one, but then recently like it's popped up, or when I was looking and browsing at the table, I was asking someone for a recommendation, Sian from Harper, and she recommended this, and then someone next to me was like, oh yeah, that book's amazing. So I'm like, why have I not heard about this more? It says that it's a dark, enchanting fairy tale with blood on its teeth. House of the Beast is a story of revenge, resilience, and the power of love to see us through the darkness. Beautifully illustrated throughout by the author. Yeah, there's all of these lovely drawings inside, and I think the author's done them all. Guys, I'll report back. This one also seems like a really good autumn pick. I will throw in and show you guys some of the fairyloot editions that came in my August fairyloot box, because I'm actually really excited to read them. This one, not that I'm not normally excited to read them, but I'm just especially excited for some of these. So this is Warrior Princess Assassin by Bridget Kemmerer. This was in their romantasy box, and apparently this is why I choose between a king, a princess, and an assassin. Apparently this is the vibe. The artwork, and it's also signed. Look at that. I love that it has a wintry feel to it, so it may be a good pick for October, November, December time. I really want to get to this one before the end of the year. A really good pick for romantasy actually, and I've heard amazing things. For the YA, it was Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. This one is about a school on the edge of the afterlife, and 6 students are forced to compete in a deadly game. 6 rivals, 1 victor, eternity is only the beginning. It gives like vampire vibes. This is what we're working with. I love anything where there's an academic competition, kind of like the Atlas 6. These are more of the characters on the back. These 2 perfect picks because they were already on my TBR and now I have beautiful copies of them. Last but not least is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. This was in the adult box and I love that they've gone for a lighter palette because all of the other editions are very dark, but my favorite part has to be this. All I know about all I know about this book is that it's about 2 PhD students who venture into hell to try and rescue the soul of their advisor so that they can get a recommendation letter. R.F. Kuang being R.F. Kuang is just so funny with it. Like, that prompt literally had me from the get-go. I've seen a lot of, you know, people talking about this book since it came out. I think I'm gonna wait a few months before I pick this up just because I kind of want to go into it with no expectations, and I feel like at the moment I've heard people say like so many different things. I want to make up my mind on my own, but I'm just not in the mood for like this kind of vibe at the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed my reading update and my book haul. I will be back very shortly. I have filmed a bookshelf tour, but I'm in the middle of editing it, so I just wanted to post this video before that video comes out next week. I'm super excited because I literally went through every single book on my shelf to show you guys everything, and I'm excited to get it out there, so definitely come back for that. If you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing, you can follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, Goodreads even, and I will see you back next week. Thank you guys.